All right, Marcelo, good job today. Couple things that we talked about, just to kind of recap and reiterate it. If we look at your max speeds per pitch, now we're going to ignore the cutter because you don't actually throw a cutter. As I showed you, right, you were kind of getting to the side of the ball and putting a little bit more side spin on it, having it come like that towards the plate as opposed to having that backspin on it like that. We got it corrected, I think. But so we're gonna ignore that cutter. All right. Today, max fastball was at 60, max slider was at 50, and fastest changeup was at 54. Right. These, and we talked about that plus or minus 4 mile an hour window, where the batter's attention is. Right. So if you throw a 54 mile an hour changeup and then you throw a 50 mile an hour slider, that's on the far outside end of that 4 mile an hour window. And at 12U, most hitters, you're going to be able to get away with that, and it's going to be fine. Obviously the fastball's well above 4 miles an hour, so you could, with these velos, you could mix that changeup, that slider, and that fastball in whatever sequencing you want to get the batter. Okay. However, if we go to averages, and we were playing with stuff today, so the average and the max is going to be a little bit different, right? Average fastball is 57. Your average changeup was, we're going to call that 52, and we're going to call that 49, okay? 49, 50, 51, 52, right? That's 3 miles an hour difference. There's not enough difference in the slider and the changeup, the way that you're throwing them, to be able to pair these two together and have a high success rate, okay? Now, if you have a slider that's going to come in and it's going to be more of a sweep, and then your changeup's going to come in and drop arm side, that's a different story, okay? I'm fine with even if they're the same speed. If you're throwing both of these at 52 miles an hour and one comes that way and the other goes that way, your movement pattern is different enough, okay, that you're going to be able to do it successful. But with the slider coming in like that and the changeup dropping like that, there's not enough velo difference here to successfully be able to pair these together in a similar location, right? And we talked about that today. So I think that based on this, either we speed up the changeup a little bit, or we speed up that slider a little bit. And I think even though the changeup here is faster, I want to work faster on the slider, because if you throw a faster slider, it's going to feel heavy when it gets to the batter, okay? And so you're going to have better success on getting rollovers and ground balls with a heavy slider coming in faster. And then that changeup coming in, it's kind of almost like you have it on a string, right? It's coming in like that, and it almost looks like to the batter that you're just kind of pulling it back and holding it. So you're going to be more successful with it that way if we flip these two. So that's what we're going to focus on more tomorrow, getting more speed out of the slider and getting more less velo out of the changeup, right? And I know you want to work fastball, which we can. I mean, you're in a good spot right now, fastball-wise. I'm not as concerned with that, as long as we can get this spin efficiency on the fastball up, right? Spin efficiency is how we talked about it, how much of the spin's contributing to the movement of the ball. And on a fastball, you want to have like 95 or higher percentage spin efficiency, all right? Gyro degree is the exact opposite, right? Gyro is how much like a bullet it spins, so we want to have that as low as possible, so that 34 is too high for a fastball. Okay. Let's look at a couple of the other things here. So let's bring up, and I didn't pre-go through these to see which ones I'm going to select. Let's look at your 57 mile an hour fastball that was a strike. And then let's look at change-ups. Let's go. This was a really efficient change-up, 54. Actually, I don't know why that was 54. Let's go with a more realistic one. This 50. And then we're going to go to the slider, which you thought was a curve. And, I explained it, right? Your difference, if I'm throwing this to you, the slider is going to be out here, and the curveball is going to be out here, right? Difference of spin like this versus spin like this. or some sliders are going to come in like that, right? There's big variation on sliders. But we're going to look at, let's see, I want to get one that really got some nice cut, so we're going to go with this one. All right, and let's pair these together, and let's just see how they look for a batter coming in, right? They're only one's a strike. All right, but that's not bad. So that one's the green. So let's try a different one of these. Let's see how this one plays. This one might be better. Yeah, here we go. This will look better. All right. All right, so I already see one thing I'm going to talk to you about, and that's going to be the release point. But I just want you to see here. So let's say we have a right-handed batter, okay? This is what they're going to see the difference in these pitches coming in, right? And if you notice, your slider and your changeup are coming in right at the same speed. All right, so if these were in the same location, essentially that's the same pitch, right? You're not getting enough separation on the movement from it to make it a different pitch. All you're getting is different spin on it to make it a different pitch, right? But the fastball obviously comes in faster. So if we go and look at the side view of it, you'll see better what I'm talking about. Right, so watch the speed difference in getting to the plate between your fastball and then the other two, okay? So now if you imagine them all coming into the same spot, same location, right, trying to create a whiff, you've really only got two different pitches there, okay? Now, the other thing I'm going to show you and talk about is from here, and we can go back and look at it on the numbers as well. These are your release points, all right? So there's a big gap here between your changeup and your slider on where you're releasing it. That's a big gap there too. Like this is kind of way out to the side, right? And that's gonna be your changeup that you're kind of tipping, okay? And at 12U in majors around here, batters are going to start picking up on that, right? Lee picks up on that all the time, and I ask him, hey, why'd you swing at that one? Why'd you not swing at this other pitch? And it's because he knew what was coming based on where the arm slide is, all right? So if we go back and we look over here, this is your average release point for each one of these pitches. So midline is going to be the hard black line right there, okay? So you can see, and again, we're going to ignore the cutter, the blue one, all right? But if we come in here, that's a really big gap, right? I mean, we're looking at a couple inches on that gap. That's almost 3 inches difference on where this pitch is coming from versus those. If we go over here to this one, all right, this is the blob of all of your pitches on one release chart. And you can see, I mean, each square is 0.3 inches, right? So it's kind of all over the place there. We want to get more consistent in, so everything coming out of the hand is going to look the same, okay? Good starting point, though, for our first session. We'll build more on that tomorrow.